Welcome back, it's Doug MPA. On my channel, I always say that women have so many more options for their life path than men. As a man, you're going to get a job when you're 16, and then you're going to work until you're dead. Hopefully, along the way, you get a highly valued skill, a highly valued trade, or highly valued education so you can provide for yourself and a wife and children if you so choose to have that, guys. Women can be CEOs, they can be housewives, they can be professionals and then leave the workforce for 3, 4 years. They have all these different options that men don't have. If we don't produce, we're homeless. Here's another example that says I took a career break to travel for a year and couldn't find a job afterward. My solo trips helped me realize it's okay. So we have another woman that quit her job as a pharmacist, no less, to find herself. So we're gonna see what's going on with this woman. Before I do that, like the video, subscribe, or drop a comment. I really appreciate it. Shows you support me and what I'm doing over here. Let's get into this. It says, when I was in pharmaceutical school, so this woman is a pharmacist. I keep telling you guys, women get these medical degrees, engineering degrees, and they have no plans on staying in their field long term. I keep telling you this. Women are not gonna stay in STEM. They're just not. So I promised myself I'd take a year off work to travel before I turned 30. I figured I'd be settled into my career as a pharmacist, but not too anchored to let it hold me back. When I unexpectedly transitioned into a six-figure health tech job that I loved, my plan went sideways. I find myself at 28 years old with no plans to travel. Then I stumbled on an old diary entry that made me realize it was now or never. I quit my job and left 2 weeks later. Traveling wasn't always glamorous, and I faced a great deal of loneliness and directionlessness. Doubt crept in during vulnerable moments, and I questioned whether I made the right choice to leave my job. My career cap changed how I approached my career. So, first off, instead of traveling alone, she should be trying to find a man. You're not supposed to go through long bouts of travel and doing certain things in life by yourself. These are crucial years where she could be trying to find a significant other to share life with, sharing these experiences with the men so they can emotionally connect, get to know each other. Loneliness and directionlessness. Said, I had a job I loved but still felt dissatisfied. Now, how many men do you know say this, guys? How many men say, I had a job I loved and paid me six figures, but I felt dissatisfied? You don't hear men say this. After receiving my doctorate in pharmaceuticals from the University of Buffalo in 2019, so she has a doctorate in pharmaceuticals she's not using. I started working as a retail pharmacist in Los Angeles. It was a really challenging job. I worked 7 days on and 3 days off and was on my feet for most of the 12-hour shifts. I didn't have a life outside of work. On my days off, I rested at home alone and ran a personal pharmacy and a travel blog, which I started in 2012. I've been looking for a new job when I stumbled upon a marketing position at GoodRx. I used my blog as my portfolio and I got hired. My new job was fully remote, so I started renting monthly across the US and creating more travel content on my blog. There's always this lure of content creation and social media, guys. All these women think that they're going to be the next big travel blogger or they're going to make money off of social media full time. Because I love working at GoodRx. Every day was unique, and I enjoyed having so much creative control. But I couldn't fight the nagging desire to travel more. I talked myself out of it for months, scared I'd never find a job this good again. I thought I should be focusing on my career and starting a family. The old journal entry I wrote in pharmacy school about my meticulous plan to travel for a year at 28 encouraged me to immediately put in my 2 weeks notice and commit to a year-long unpaid leave. I'm gonna go back to what I said at the beginning of the video, guys. Men can't do this, especially when you're in your 20s, guys. You cannot afford to take a year off to travel. You can't not afford to not use your highly valued degree. If you're a lawyer, doctor, physician assistant, you have your MBA from a prestigious school, the worst thing you can do as a man is take a year off. The timing was perfect, but it felt like a bad breakup. I had upcoming PTO scheduled to host my first ever group travel trip, a 2-week vacation in Bali with female travelers. I decided that when the trip was over, I wouldn't come home. Leaving my job felt like a bad breakup. It was a really tough decision, but I knew it was my opportunity to take a risk. I had been earning a living wage from my travel content, so I felt confident I could afford my travels if I stayed calculated. I went into my career break just wanting to do things without monetary attachment. I volunteered as a healthcare worker with refugees in Lebanon and learned Arabic in Jordan while volunteering as a social media manager at a hospital. One of the most special moments was spending 2 months in Pakistan, where my parents are from and my grandparents live. It was really beautiful to nourish my sense of identity as a Pakistani American. There were moments where I thought I made a mistake. My travels weren't just about exploring a place, but exploring myself. Oh, these women with these terms. Exploring myself, finding myself, my journey. Come on, get out of here. I journaled, cried, read, and went inward, deeply contemplating what I wanted from my life. Strangely enough, I missed the predictability of a full time job. I got tired of planning and constantly being on the go without a home base. Every move I made required looking up where to go, how to get there, and what to buy. I had to constantly be on just to keep myself safe. At around the 6 month mark, I just wanted to go home and take a break. I told other solo travelers about my overwhelm, and most of them expressed having felt the same. And I guarantee you, most of them were women.
Jesus H. Christ.
I'm telling you. They advised me to stay put in each spot longer or go home if I needed to. I decided to stick it out and follow through on my goal. I struggled to get rehired after 12 months of travel. During my final months of travel, I started applying to full-time content marketing roles in the health and tech spaces. And she has a doctorate in pharmacy, guys. I didn't hear back from any companies and worried my career break was a huge mistake. I went home at the 1 year mark, but I left 2 weeks later for 6 more months of travel. I'd received more demand to host group trips and build my travel influencing brand. When month 18 of travel ended, I traveled to over 30 countries and reached a decision point. I could keep fighting for a job in healthcare or lean into what is fulfilling me at the moment. I decided to stop looking for jobs and turn my group travels into a company. It's been about 6 months and I'm living fully nomadically while facilitating group trips and growing my brand. Guys, this is going to be another woman who's going to be 35, 40, and wondering why she's single and not married. How she's supposed to meet a decent guy. And also, guys, remember, she's a pharmacist. So she's still going to demand that people treat her as such. And she's still going to date like a woman who's a doctor of pharmaceuticals. You think that she's going to get with some guy that's another nomad like her? Who isn't established? Who isn't making money? Of course she's not. I had a really hard time letting go of the fact that I wouldn't be returning to healthcare, but my solo travels helped me realize it's okay to forge my own path, even if it strays from the norm. I realized how often social pressure to follow a certain formula and climb the corporate ladder impacted my decisions. Being left to my own devices allowed me to tune in to what I truly want and who I truly am. One day I'd like to return to healthcare in some capacity, but I'm fully committed to my unconventional path and trust where it will take me. See, this is the key right here. Committed to my unconventional path and trust where it will take me. Guys, you cannot make this mistake. You can't take this gamble. And if you do, the clock is ticking. Guys, if you try an unconventional way of trying to make money, you probably have till about 30, 33, and then you need to get a real job. You need to get a real job. Women like her could just float through life, going from country to country, traveling wherever. Guys, you can't do this. You need to put yourself in the best position possible to get the best woman you can if you want to have a family. And women care about your status, your job title, your income, all that stuff. And you can't do that when you're floating around and just traveling to wherever, whenever. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments. Like the video, subscribe. I'll catch you on the next one.